Good morning and welcome to the Intellectual Idiot Show. It is a very special episode today. Number one, because Tyler's gone. So that always makes the episode better. And number two, we have Big Bad Bulge on the call today. Bulging crotch. Matthew Bolger, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. It's a pleasure to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
Oh, by the way, and we have Mike as well.
Oh,
but it's not really important. But we have a fun-packed episode today. We're going to do what's hot, what's not. And then we have a very interesting segment thought of by yours truly, Michael Krupo, down there at the bottom. Oh, wait, was it Bulge?
No, it was Mike. It was all Mike. Yeah.
Okay. But we're going to talk a little bit about like what we thought was cutting edge technology back when we were in grade school, which I know we all got some interesting stuff that we have lined up. And then we're going to close it down with 20 through 11 on most beautiful states. But really quick, I just wanted to say something right off the bat. I had something on my mind that actually occurred yesterday, but it peaked. So I was taking Cash for a walk.
Cool.
And I had this woman like come up to me and legitimately just go straight for Cash and say, oh my God, your dog, come here, puppy, come here. Like, do you know how many times I get that when I take my dog for a walk? And I'll never understand, no matter how many times it happens, I'll never understand how to react when somebody just comes up and starts like talking to your dog and petting it, like, and not saying one single word to you whatsoever. Yeah. Like, are you just supposed to like, it's almost like you're entertaining people on your walk. Like, are you just supposed to like stop every time and just be like, go ahead, like go assault my dog? Like that it's just something that I was thinking about. So any feedback?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on the dog, right? Because if your dog is friendly and there's no issues with it, like I don't see an issue. I think it's fine. But
yeah, but it's just like, does anybody know where I'm coming from the awkward standpoint of like
maybe it's a common courtesy thing to at least say something like, hey, you have such a cute dog, or like,
yeah,
hey,
instead of just like going and grabbing my dog and like
just running
petting it and I'm just standing there like and then just listening to this lady go on for 5 minutes. Oh my God, good puppy,
What if you like played the reverse Uno card and then you just started petting the lady and see how she felt about that?
Well, then I'd end up in prison, Mike. So I mean, that would be assault. It's okay to assault a dog, but it's not okay to assault an actual human being, Mike.
Quote
unquote. So did that to
write
people
that down.
right now.
He said it.
To assault a dog backs off.
Oh God. Anyway, let's jump right into what's hot, what's not today. I know I got two absolutely phenomenal ones locked and loaded. Wait, before we jump into that, Bolger, do you want to share with the world where you're at right now?
Yeah, who the hell are you?
Matt just made a move from the dirty Dallas where Mike lives. He flew the coop. Matt, where are we located?
Yeah, so as Max said, I moved from West Dallas up to the Great North, Superior, Wisconsin. Just right across the water from Duluth. So it's like a 6-hour drive from West Dallas, and tell you what, it's been a change, but I enjoy it up here. It's nice. It's quiet and quaint and plenty of nature, so it's nice.
Are you like right by Apostle Islands or no?
I'm like, it's probably like an hour drive to the Apostle Islands from here. I'm on like the far western side of the state, but I am on right on Lake Superior. I can walk 10 minutes and I'm at the shores. So
Apostle Islands honestly was like, I mean, in Wisconsin, it was definitely one of the most fun trips I've taken. Stayed up there.
Yeah, oddly enough, I have not been there yet, but
it's so cool.
I've heard a ton of good things about them. I'm excited to go check them out.
You guys should head over there in the fall. It's like really pretty up there with all the leaves changing and all that stuff.
Yeah, we did go to actually, you mentioned Bayfield County. We went to Bayfield, which is, that's where you get the ferry to go across to Madeline Island, which is one of the Apostle Islands. And we went there in the fall, man. I got like this East Coast New England type of vibe to it.
Yeah.
And with all the trees changing colors is absolutely beautiful up there. I love it.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And I'm pretty sure you can like see at the right time of year, you can actually see the Northern Lights from the Apostle Island. And it's a fun fact. It's got the highest black bear per capita.
No kidding, really?
In the world. Yeah. Apostle Islands. But anyway, what's hot, what's not?
Wait. Can we take one more pause really quick?
Of course.
Just to focus on our guest, Matthew Bolger, and we were talking about lakes. Fun fact, everybody out there, if you go into the Minocqua area, there is a lake called Bolger Lake. So he's got a bit of a celebrity up there.
Mm-hmm. Well known.
Also, like, when you go up to somebody with a solid package, say nice bowl, sometimes it needs to be said.
Yeah.
Compliments sometimes can go a long way. You know what they say when they taught us. We both were, grew up through Christ-centered schools. You give somebody go out of your way to give somebody a compliment, and it might make day like, hey, nice bowls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nice crotch.
That's what they say.
Yeah. So anyway, let's continue to move it forward. So, Mike, do you have any more interruptions for us, or are we good to move forward? Okay, sounds good. Let's move forward. So let's start with the guest of honor today, Bulge, for the what's hot, what's not. How about you kick us off?
All right. Some great news that came through this morning. I was just scrolling through Twitter and I saw, Jerry Bruckenheimer. I don't know if you know who this guy is. Ever heard the name? He is an American film and TV producer. He was the producer for National Treasure, both the first and the second films. And he said that the script is pretty much done for National Treasure 3. And they're sending it to Nick Cage very soon. So I'm very excited to see another Nicolas Cage National Treasure film coming out.
Oh, they talked about that for the past like 5 years of getting another National Treasure movie. I'm pumped.
So now he's talking.
So Nick Cage is going to do another National Treasure. So the what's hot, there's a couple in there. It's National Treasure and Nick Cage.
I mean, it's gonna be
all. You got a double whammy on the what's hot.
That's what I'm saying. It's fantastic news all around. Like, there's nothing wrong about that news.
That's phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah. Have you guys? So speaking of Nicolas Cage, have you guys seen any of his recent movies?
Define recent.
He just came out with like a new one that's like in theaters right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually called something like it has his name in it. I'm pretty sure, or something like that.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's like who is Nick Cage or something like that. Yeah,
Nick Cage acting as Nick Cage.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Did you guys see Ghost Rider? That was just a tumultuous movie back like when we're probably in early high school, where he like sells his soul to the devil and then he just gets to ride a flaming motorcycle.
Dude, that movie had good CGI for the time, man.
That's true. I'll give it that.
I don't know why this is a thing, but for you guys, was it like for the listeners, we all went to school together, like from grade school up. Wait, Bulge, you went to
high school.
Yeah, only high school with you guys.
High school up. So me and Michael went to grade school up. Bulge joined the squad in high school. Yep. But did it ever seem like maybe this is more directed towards Mike then, but in like grade school and middle school, like we would watch National Treasure. I feel like I watched that movie as like a movie that the teachers would show like over and over. I probably watched it 8 times throughout middle school and elementary school.
Yeah, let's be honest. That's probably just like if you're like a social studies teacher in grade school, high school, and you don't really know what the hell you're doing, you're like, oh, let's put on National Treasure. You get to see some of the monuments and stuff.
Yeah, that. There you go.
Looks like history and social studies to me.
There you go. Mike, you want to hit us with what's hot, what's not?
Yeah, you're right though. With the watching National Treasure like multiple times in school as a child.
Oh yeah.
So no, Bulge needs his what not.
Oh yeah, Bulge.
Yeah, come on, man.
All right,
cramping my steeds, man. Let me get through it. So that's my what's hot, what's not. Things have been good recently, so I don't have a ton to report on, but I'm gonna go ahead and say the Yankees are not hot right now.
Oh,
they are the opposite of hot right now, which I am actually happy to see because I hate the Yankees.
Ooh, yeah, dude, they lost, like, didn't they lose like 11 in a row or something?
Yeah, it was like they lost the last like 10 of 12 games and they finally won one.
Fucking losers.
Yeah.
You knew they were going to crumble too. It's classic Yankees fashion. Like they're the best team in baseball by an absolute long shot. And then all of a sudden it starts getting the postseason when games actually start meaning something and the Yankees crumble. Kind of like the Brewers, but they're
You gotta watch out for those Mets though, man.
watch
Love
out
the
for
Mets,
those
baby.
Braves. Braves have won 10 straight. And they're like one game behind New York now, the Mets. So they just played a Mets Braves series and the Braves took 2-3. And the Braves, like it was at Atlanta at SunTrust Park, and it was like crazy rocking loud. Like I think I honestly like I like the Braves. Like I love Acuna, I love Ozzie Albies, I like
Aaron,
Wilson.
Greg Maddux, Chipper Jones.
Yeah, I like all those guys.
Yeah, the all-time greats.
I'd root for the Braves because I don't think the Brewers are gonna make it. I really don't think they're gonna make the playoffs.
Wow.
I mean, they're now 5 games back in the division, and they are three games out of the wild card because the Padres keep winning. So actually, they don't keep winning. That leads into my what's not. But yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Cool.
That's
Cool.
my what's not. Yankees, not hot.
Cool. You want me to go? Sure, I'll go. My what's hot is pumpkin. Pumpkin flavors. I went to Dunkin' the other day. I went on.
You got a Blumpkin?
That month, August 18th. They had all of their pumpkin flavors out. Pumpkin flavors are back. It's
Not yet.
fall.
No. After Labor Day.
Because I was there. I went through the drive-thru and I literally got
No.
pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah, you're not wrong. We were just at the store. They got the Halloween decorations starting to come out already,
Oh.
man. Like it's coming in. Now, I'll tell you what. I'm
God, dude,
not
they
excited
push it
for the-
hard.
Yeah, I'm not excited for the colder weather, man, but there's some energy about fall that's nice, especially with football, man. I'm
Wow.
excited for some football to be back.
Well,
To my
well,
Wisconsin
Matt,
alums on the call, I
I'm pretty
decided to
sure
wear
that's
my Wisconsin shirt today.
that's stolen valor. You're talking with 2 Badger alumni here.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I decided to honor you guys by wearing my
Oh
Wisconsin
wow.
sleeve shirt.
How's St. Norbert's football team gonna look this year?
You know, they play in a D3 conference, Michael. So like your dig on St. Norbert doesn't necessarily equate or equal out, seeing that like St. Norbert football team just runs over everybody they play all year in the D3 conference. So they're actually probably going to fare better than the Badgers football team, if I'm going to be 100% honest.
Whoa.
Slash not existed.
No, they are
Yeah,
existent. They are a D3 football team.
I thought you guys don't have a football team.
No, our football team's really good.
Oh, well, congrats.
D3 though.
And then we lose to Whitewater in the playoffs.
Cool.
Yeah, everybody does.
Okay. Pumpkin spice is hot. What's not hot?
Yeah, so pumpkin flavors, go out there to your local Dunkin', not Starbucks, but Dunkin', and get some pumpkin. Pumpkin flavors are back. That means
Not for me.
football's back. That means football's back. Okay. Anyway, moving on to my what's not. I said this a couple weeks ago, but it's ramped up since. Josh Hader is back on the what's not. Josh Hader got traded to the Padres. What was that? 2 weeks ago now? 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
He has yet to record a save in a Padres uniform. So let's rewind back to when I was shitting on the Brewers management for trading Josh Hader, thinking that it was like giving up on our team, yada, yada. They must have known something surprising. They must have known something that I didn't. So I'll admit when I'm wrong, and I'm wrong. Josh Hader has been the worst closer in baseball over the past month. His ERA since joining the Padres is well over 8. He has yet to report a save. He's blown 3 saves in a Padres uniform. And he just, Yu Darvish, 2 nights ago, pitched into the 9th inning, only gave up 1 run. There was a runner on first, and they pulled him and put in Hader. It was a 1-1 game. Hader proceeded to bean the next guy, walk the next guy on 4 pitches, and then give up a base hit up the middle, and blew the game instantly. So
No.
Josh,
He's choking.
That's Yu Darvish's run.
it's Yu Darvish's run, but Hader blew the game.
I still blame you, Darvish.
And
Yeah.
Hader gave up 2 of the 3 runs, or what? Technically, Hader gave up a run too because 2 runs scored when he pitched,
Okay.
and one of them was Hader's run, one of them was Darvish's. But anyway, yeah, Hader's been dog shit, absolute dog shit, and it's like I feel bad for him because I kind of like Josh Hader.
Yeah.
But he completely lost. The Brewers again, absolutely trade fucked the Padres. It's kind of, if you look back at it, Hader kind of was struggling a little bit on his like last 2 weeks with the Brewers. He was giving up a lot of runs, blew a couple saves, but we thought it was kind of because of his kid and whatever. But now he's like onto the Padres and he's just giving up nukes. Just absolutely falling behind in counts, not climbing the ladder, as Chad Janetsky would say.
Yeah, climb the ladder.
Not climbing the ladder correctly. And
Be a bulldog up there. He wasn't being a bulldog.
he's certainly not being a bulldog up there on the mountain. But to hit the peak of my what's not, he got booed in his last outing.
Oh no.
They booed the man.
Bro's been on the team for like a week and a half and they're already calling him.
Really tough look though. It's tough to come back from that. It's yeah, I feel bad for him, but you're getting booed. I mean, he's lost mentally right now. Just like a hitter can go in slumps, like pitchers can too. He's lost. So Josh Hader's my what's not. Enlarged testicular. I'll head it over to you.
I've got a good what's hot. I'm going to share my screen here.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter to the people listening out on Spotify, but just to set it up, it's pretty much a video clip of a viral grandma who has a karaoke machine and she sings in Goodwill stores. So hopefully you guys can see this enough. Yeah, this time. Oh, here we go.
Garvin was back at her old stomping ground, putting on a show.
Yeah.
Employee for assistance, and in return, he asked for a song. She began to sing. Got the whole world. This man's got the whole world in his hands. And a customer got out his phone and hit record.
And she's just going along singing and looking at the camera and just having a great time. And I thought, what a spirit.
John Sherfron shared a post to Facebook, and the rest is history.
I was just used to the nursing home people, you know. I'm not used to this. I haven't never had this much attention, I don't think, in all my life.
The video has been viewed 34,000 times.
That's kind of sweet.
That's my what's hot. His old grandma lady.
Aw.
Goodwill.
Good. She's getting some excitement outside of the nursing home. That's nice to
She
see.
doesn't croak soon.
Yeah, man. Well, at least if she does, then she's had some fun.
Yeah. I mean, you got a couple more weeks to sing away.
Okay. And then
All right, Mike, let's head it back to you.
really quick, my what's not is going to be Tom Brenneman. It's the former announcer for the, I don't know, some freaking ball club team. It's been 2 years now. That marks the famous line of, I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. And there's a drive into deep left field by Castellanos, so that'll be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again, whether that be for the Reds or my bosses at Fox. So the line.
There's a deep drive to left.
I like that he got one more call in there. That's awesome.
You know, the what's not is obviously Tom Brenneman. I don't know what the hell that announcer is doing, but it did give the birth to the legend of Nick Castellanos hitting home runs at ill-advised times during MLB games. So
Yes.
that's no, it's not.
Was there another ill-advised home run that Nick Castellanos hit?
Yeah, they were like giving a memorial to some like old hag on the Reds team where he was like a manager and it's like his played with his dad like on the Reds. And
Why the hell are they saying that during the game?
they were doing a memorial for them like during the inning. It's Castellanos. It's a home run. It's gonna be a 2-0 ball game.
Here's Castellanos being a cock block to the moment yet again.
They're like, hey, let's take a moment of silence for our 9/11 memorial victims. Yeah, there's Castellanos.
Deep drive to left.
Oh my God. So awkward. Do you have anything else?
No, just that. I want to dive into so we don't take up too much time into our next topic, shall we?
Yeah, let's go. Kick us off. What do we got?
So pretty much what we're going to be talking about amongst ourselves, I think, is just to reminisce over some of our, I think, favorite like 2000s tech, 2000s technology. Now, I don't want to dive into a deep rabbit hole of specifically video games, but I do want to bring up something that all three of us have had experience with is the Nintendo GameCube.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Mario Baseball. Let's go.
Yeah.
Mario Baseball. Oh God.
Mario Baseball, so lit.
Mario Double Dash. Try to think of some other like Tony Hawk Underground was a popular GameCube game that I'd be playing.
Super Mario Sunshine was a banger.
Bulge.
That was a banger.
But I know, Bulge, you played some Mario Baseball with me, but Mac,
Yeah.
we'd be like, literally, this would just be a couple years ago. We would just have these vicious competitions of playing Mario Superstar Baseball.
I don't think you ever won, Mike.
I think I beat you a couple times.
I mean,
Yeah, Bulge, you would play with me a lot too.
I would play with you, but I would definitely never win, dude. Every time I thought I had a chance, I'd be up like 4 runs. I'd be like, dude, I'm finally gonna beat Mike's ass. And then all of a sudden he storms back, drops 6-7 runs in an inning.
well, the key in Mario Baseball is I like to do it where like you pitch it right down the middle every time and it's just like a shootout, like of hitting.
just ripping home runs.
And like whoever hits more ends up winning. But like what was always funny about Mario Baseball is like if you pitched DK, he's got the lefty sidearm. And like you could, even if you were pitching it right down the middle every time, you could not time it correctly. So like I would pitch DK and like have the like I cracked the code. And like I remember too, I'd always play that game with Dakota. Like we'd be up like all night playing Mario Baseball. And I just keep throwing DK on the mound and he'd be getting so pissed off. It was so funny. That game was freaking awesome.
Other than that, sticking with like Nintendo, obviously the Wii console a little bit later was pretty fun. And I had
Do they still
Nintendo.
sell Wii's?
They're Wii U's now, right?
So they were Wii's, then they're Wii U's. Now they're on Nintendo Switch, and they've done like variations of the Switch as well, but they're not on like the next gen yet.
Bring back the Wii.
Dude, I got for Christmas one year is the best Christmas. My brother and I got a Wii and an Xbox 360 for the same Christmas.
Dude.
Crazy. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah, like going back to that, that's like, I mean, sticking with the topic of what we're talking about today, like I remember you guys both know David Schmidt, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know Michael does, but me and David were really, really close in middle school and elementary school. And I would always go over to David's house and he had an Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And that was back when I was in like 6th, 7th grade. And I was like, oh my God, the graphics on here are absolutely insane. You know, we were playing like MLB 2K, freaking 16 or 15 or whatever it was. And I was like, this is crazy. So like, I got an Xbox 360 and, you know, I was like the happiest person in the entire world. And now it's like, I got the PS5s are coming out and it's like, they literally look like real human beings that are running around out there.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And it's just like what we thought was like the best graphics in the entire world on Xbox 360. Like, oh my God, these people actually look like human beings instead of just blobs running around the field. And now it's like fast forward to 2022 and you got like real life Call of Duty happening on your screen. It's insane.
And it's crazy the technology that goes into like these updated like animations in basketball and baseball video games, the suits that they wear. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah.
Where they have like all these sensors on them and they legitimately track the motion of the person and then like put it into a video game code. Like
they do that on like, they'll have like the MLB players come in and like have a whole day where they're just like doing their things and all that stuff for like MLB The Show and all that stuff. It's
crazy.
nuts.
Any other video game consoles or systems or anything like that? I have a couple other areas of technology we can dive into, but
I mean, what were some of your guys' favorite games in those?
Nintendogs.
What?
Nintendogs.
Nintendogs on the DS.
What the fuck is Nintendogs?
You don't know Nintendogs?
Oh,
You take care of a virtual puppy and you go on walks with it. And
Well, it sounds like something that would entertain you for long periods at a time.
you have to pick up its shit when it goes for a walk.
How stupid. Wow.
Yeah.
You should maybe go pick up a dog shit. You would just start throwing it at other people on the video game. Wildly immature bastard. All right. Yeah, that's all I really had.
I was gonna say, you know what? Speaking of sports-related games, Madden 04 for the GameCube was pretty crazy.
Oh, I was
It's
mad.
Michael Vick.
Michael Vick was absolutely
So dumb.
awesome.
That game was so dumb. If you picked the Falcons, you were gonna win the game by 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, seriously, it's guaranteed.
They
He's
cheated
untouchable.
with Michael Vick. It's so stupid.
Can't beat it. I love it.
Like even nowadays, when you play like Madden and you play with like Lamar Jackson or whatever, like you can send everybody deep and then you're just like running around with Lamar Jackson. It's like almost like a guaranteed first down every play.
Mhm.
At least they
Yeah.
made it a little bit more realistic, but
Yeah.
it's still really funny. But all right. Well, we can move on from the game consoles if you want. But one thing that I have to say is I wasn't allowed to get a phone until 6th grade.
Oh,
That's when I got my first phone.
I was 8th grade.
sophomore year of high school.
That's right.
Sophomore year of high school.
I'm surprised you got one now, Bolger.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. But no,
That's great, man.
it was pretty much maybe it was 7th grade, but it was 6th or 7th grade for me. And I got this like piece of shit flip phone where you could like flip the phone up and you had the good old keyboard.
That's
Was it a team?
those
Was
were
it a sidekick? Was it the team
sidekick.
sidekick?
It was
Yeah,
the
dude.
sidekick where you'd have it
Yeah.
up, facing up and down, and then you do the flipper and then flip up. Those are
Yeah.
so sick.
It was the coolest thing. That was literally my second one. I was like, I'm gonna talk about the T-Mobile Sidekick. And to be honest, like those slide phones in general, because that was the first phone I had too, was one that you literally had just whoop, and then you had your QWERTY keyboard and type it, send and close it. Man, it's so satisfying.
sickest.
These phones were the most indestructible phones on the face of the
Yeah.
There, no new Apple phone or anything that will ever come out will ever equate to the durability of these phones. I'm telling you what. So Henry Jensen was really good friends with Henry in high school. Obviously, you guys know Henry, but he had this like absolute piece of shit unit, like flip phone, like sidekick flip phone. But he would like throw it and drop it and just be like completely careless with the phone all the time. And there was one day when I literally took his phone and threw it across the gym floor. It got so scratched you couldn't see like who you were texting. But the moral of the story is the phone worked absolutely perfectly.
Yeah.
No.
Ba-
Moral of the story is that you're an asshole. For just
No,
trying-
because he did the same
Just throw it
thing.
across the
Do
gym.
you know those like wiffle ball bats? Those like jumbo wiffle ball bats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came over to my house once and took my flip phone and hit it with one of those bats, like across my front yard. And
What's wrong with you guys?
and my phone still worked.
You can't complain about having a shitty slide phone if that's what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
I didn't complain. I loved my slide phone.
Yeah.
That thing was a fucking unit.
That's
It would
awesome.
never ever break. You could do just about anything you wanted to that phone, and it would just be in mint condition.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Truly unbelievable. What else do we got? Let's fire it across the board.
You got one, Bulge? Otherwise, I got a good one.
You know what I was gonna talk about was more so a process, and it was like when you had an MP3 player,
Yes.
but there was like no good way to get songs on it, so you'd have to like burn it to like a CD and then like do some weird formatting to get it into the right MP3 file and then get it onto your little player.
Dude, I burned CDs, I think up until high school is kind of
Mhm.
like died out back probably around 2013, 14, 15. Spotify.
That was when Michael finally finished burning all the Maroon 5 CDs that were possible.
I do have a Route 5 CD where I made like a specific playlist. But the easiest way that I found to burn CDs, what was your easiest process? Like, what would you go?
I think I had, to be honest, to get the MP3 files, I would literally go just rip them from YouTube or like just find like a free download site or something like that. And then, I would use iTunes actually, because iTunes had a built-in like burning function. So yeah, I would upload them into iTunes and then burn them to a CD. Yeah, I made several of those.
The Apple police just got me.
Yeah. No, dude, you know what's funny? Speaking of iTunes, do you still get the iTunes, like you need to update your iTunes to the latest version?
No.
Oh my gosh, I haven't updated iTunes in like a decade, and so it's literally like super outdated, but it tells me to update it every day, and I'm like, later.
I thought they shut down iTunes. Like,
No, it's still, I think it's still a thing, but they don't really like use it a ton.
oh my god.
Because Apple Music kind of superseded it.
It was really, really funny though, those like little cylinder like MP3 players or whatever, when you have this like little knob at the top to like flip to the next song.
Mm-hmm.
Was remember how cool we thought we were when they were coming out with like the iPod Nano?
And the iPod Touch, that was insane.
iPod Touch was groundbreaking. That was like that was the gateway into the iPhone, wasn't it? Like, didn't the iPod Touch come out like right before the first iPhone came out?
At the same time. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was about at the same time. Yeah, because that's when they were really starting to like get into the touch screen type of world that we were moving into.
Now they just keep adding cameras. I'm getting the new iPhone that's coming out in September. I think it's like the 14 or 15 or whatever.
15, I think, yeah.
Whatever the fuck it is. It's like basically they just keep jacking the price up like $500 phone by because they added one more camera. Sooner than later, like that iPhone that's coming out is gonna be like just cameras all over the back of the screen. It's like, oh, I enjoy this. Like it's basically you just got like a professional grade camera, like so it's $10,000.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah, they'll put in like a moderately better processor, but then add like the most high def, ultra high res camera, and then call it $1,600.
So like I can only take like so many pictures, just like stupid pictures of like Michael like golfing shitty, like a random golf course. Like I don't need that high definition of a camera to do that. Nobody wants to see that.
I'm curious to know if you guys, this is completely changing the subject, but I want to know if you ever played this game, which is
Oh, that's great, Mike.
Space Cadet 3D.
Yeah, I've definitely played that game. Yeah, dude.
So for the viewers,
Pinball, man.
if you had some sort of Microsoft desktop computer growing up, like in the 90s or 2000s, they had a couple built-in programs there, like Minesweeper, I think Solitaire, but the best one was 3D Pinball Space Cadet. And I don't really know if there's some of the sound effects from it that I can find, but that was just one of the go-to games where if you didn't have an internet connection, like before addicting games, I'd be playing that for hours, like at my grandpa's house.
Dude, I am going back to my parents' house today, and I think that they still have the Wii over there, and I am totally gonna grab that and bring that back over to my apartment. Like 110%. Like I think I don't know if the Wii still works. But hell, if it does, I might play it.
Riverside. Guys, if
Wii Golf. Did you guys play Wii Sports at all?
Oh my god, dude! Mike and I used to play Wii Golf like every day. Like every time that we would hang out, we would play Wii Golf, and just like we sometimes we turn it into a drinking game. But man,
oh yeah, we do that too. So fun, so fucking fun. I'm trying to think of anything going on tonight. I think I could probably. Bolger, we'll FaceTime you in. Michael's gonna come over. We're gonna play Wii Golf drinking.
All right, great.
Except my dad doesn't have a Wii up there, so
yeah,
tough luck.
I love Wii Golf. They just came out with like the most updated version of Wii Sports for the Switch, and there's golf on it. So it's just like the more like way more realistic future version of the OG Wii Sports Golf.
Speaking of another fun GameCube game, though, did you ever play like the PGA Tour with like Tiger in like 2003 or 4 when Tiger Woods like automatically was just like right at the pin?
Yeah, he was gonna win.
just straight goated, like no matter what. Like if you play with Tiger Woods, it's like playing FIFA with playing with like Manchester United. Like,
Yeah.
all right, do we have any other ones or?
I got one. Did you guys ever have AIM, the AOL instant message?
Mm-hmm.
I freaking loved AIM.
That's a good shout.
Before, I had a phone, that was like my way of texting people. And it was just I would use AIM 24/7 just to like, talk to girls, talk to dudes, just like,
You go both ways.
Yeah, you didn't do a whole lot of talking to girls back in your day. Like, let's be honest.
instant messaging though. That's like the OG version of that. Like that was before I could text people on the phone. I'd be like, hey, when are you gonna go on AIM tonight?
Yeah, I had not only AIM, but I also was on Yahoo Messenger. I was bumping on Yahoo Messenger as well. Yeah, I had both of them. And then actually you mentioned that was your way of texting. When I got an iPod Touch, they had these apps like text free.
Yes,
you could download it, but it would have ads because otherwise you'd have to pay for it. But I couldn't pay for it, So it would just you could only text if you had Wi-Fi, and so that was how I texted for like the first 3 years that I had an iPod.
Oh gosh,
Dude, it was do you want to know another game that came to mind? Did you guys ever play Webkins?
Yeah, not much, like for a little bit.
Fun. I was like obsessed with Webkins. I keep buying. It's just like talk about a game was just like a complete trap to buy like random stuffed animals. Like
Yeah.
I had like a million fucking Webkins, and all of a sudden I was like, one day I was just like, why am I doing this? Like I have like 9 animals.
So you know how like in games nowadays they have all these microtransactions where it'll be like cosmetics for a game or something like that. It'll ask you to pay 99 cents or $1 or $2 here. Like Webkins was like the original version of those microtransactions. It's just like a way for the company to get you to keep spending money even after you're like already playing the game. Like
Yeah, now it's turned into Fortnite where people spend like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, on V-Bucks. Yeah.
Do people like, I mean, I've heard I don't play Fortnite, but like I've heard of like people spending a ton of money on that game.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, where they're like completely invested and they're some of the best in the world and they're spending like, because they're making a lot by streaming.
Yeah.
So they're also spending what they're making on like the game to like be better. It's absolutely nuts. But guys, I don't want to cut it short if we have any more, but maybe we jump into our states here.
Yeah, I just got to play this really quick.
Oh yeah.
That was from the pinball game.
Satisfying.
I got
Nothing played for me. So once again, by the way, Mike, I meant to tell you, like, a really nice touch with the flower in the background. It's really bringing out the background. So it looks
I got Bolger knows that's Nighthawk in the background.
Of course.
Heyday, go.
I've actually, yeah, Mike, I've got a Mark Krupa original in my room, right?
Yeah, that's right. So if people don't know, my dad actually got an art degree and realized he didn't make any money doing it, so he went back to engineering. But yeah, Mr. Bolger's got some Mark Krupa original canvas, I believe. So,
Yep.
very great. So let's dive into the states. I think, isn't Triple B kicking us off?
Yeah, I got Virginia.
Big Bad Bulge.
Yeah, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we're coming in at number 20 here.
20
on you guys' list. I'm jumping in. You guys have made it from 50 all the way up to 20 here now, so I'm hopping in, and I'm hoping I can bring some nature beauty facts to.
Let's whip out those that sack Bulge. Come on now.
I'll tell you what, guys. I'll do one better, and I'll even show you some of the pictures. I'll pull it up. I'll call Jamie to pull it up.
Bulger's showing us up hard.
All right, so we got Virginia. Virginia is number 20 right now. In the first place, I want to call your attention to is the Luray Caverns in Virginia.
Luray Caverns. Looks beautiful.
So these are the largest caves in the eastern United States.
Wow.
Can you describe some of the imagery for the people listening out there?
Yeah, so we got some, stalactites and some stalagmites. And, this is a cave, so it's in the earth. And there's some people
sure they're not
looking
called
at this.
Stalag tits on the top? I believe it's tits. No?
What?
Stalactites and then
Oh,
stalagmites.
stalactites. Yeah, that's definitely what it is. Yep. I think you're
Thank you,
right.
that's what I thought.
Look, there's a wedding here. That was kind of cool.
Oh,
All right, so
They fell on their head.
that's one. That's Luray Caverns. That's like the most well-known thing, I think. But then there's also the Natural Bridge Caverns in
Wow.
actually
Yeah.
Natural Bridge, Virginia. Look at this guy.
Cool. That looks like a scene out of The Hobbit.
Isn't that kind of crazy, man?
That's cool.
yeah, it's like an
Cool
old
as shit. Wow, this is a major plug for our YouTube goals. This is awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, shout out to everybody watching. Sorry to the Spotify fans, but all right, so they also have, obviously Virginia's got Virginia Beach, which I've heard is kind of like a downscaled Myrtle Beach. It's kind of like an attraction type of a beach where they, people can go and stuff. And then I don't know if you guys have ever driven through Virginia, but it's the Virginia turnpikes that I really like driving through.
Ooh, wow.
Because you get these super scenic views as you're going through the hills and stuff.
How cool, Bolger.
They have these up in Pennsylvania and more like those somewhat northeastern states as well. But there's a ton of cool driving if you go through the turnpikes.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's Virginia.
Bolger, how about you
So,
just keep this, by the way, keep this screen up. And then if you could pull up what me and Michael say too, that'd be awesome.
yeah, absolutely. I'll pull it up.
All right, Mike, you want to hit us with the good old NYC?
I got New York.
All right, pull up New York City.
Pretty much.
Pull it up.
Pretty much. One thing I totally forget is that there's the Niagara Falls. There's like one of the 7 wonders of the world, like in New York. Like everyone just thinks of New York City. I mean, you can't forget about like the Statue of Liberty and Times Square, but like Niagara Falls is just beautiful. I personally
Wow, look at those lit up colors there. That's gorgeous. Holy shit, how cool.
But something that's kind of interesting that I didn't exactly realize about New York is that it is a very geographical diverse kind of state. There's farmland, there's forests, there's rivers, there's mountains, and there's lakes. So it's kind of got the best of both worlds, or all worlds, I should say, in it. They are able to experience pretty much all 4 seasons, which is kind of cool.
Very cool.
Other things that you can't forget about New York City. I know I mentioned the Statue of Liberty and Times Square, but Central Park, I visited New York there this last summer, and I was like, holy crap, this is like such a bigger freaking park. I don't know if it's like a little over 1,000 acres, I want to say.
I think it's like 800 something.
Yeah.
Or like a random patch of grass in the middle of a big city.
Exactly. But
Really
it
beautiful.
holds its name. It's pretty crowded in there all the time, but you can find your little nooks and crannies in there where you want to get some alone time. Also, a little fun fact about New York, other than their nickname being the Empire State, they were the first state to require license plates on their cars.
Really?
Yeah.
That is a fun fact.
All
That
right.
is a super fun fact.
That was awesome, Mike.
Let's go to number
New
8.
York,
Tennessee.
number 19.
Tennessee. So
Beautiful
I'm up.
Tennessee.
I got Tennessee. Bolger, if you just wanted to punch in there, the Great Smoky
Oh
Mountains
yeah.
National Park.
Ooh.
So obviously, straddling the border of Tennessee and North Carolina is the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, which is the most visited national park in the States. The Smoky, I personally am a fan of the Rockies. I would prefer to go out west than out east, but I've been to Tennessee and I've been to North Carolina, which Michael, have we gotten to North Carolina yet or no?
No, I haven't though.
Okay. But absolutely breathtaking. The only thing that you got to be careful with out east, which you got to be careful with stuff out west too, is they go in through massive monsoon seasons where it's rain for like extended periods of time. Like I'm talking like weeks. But God, the Smoky Mountain National Park is absolutely gorgeous. And if you have not been, it's a place that you definitely have to go see. So next, Bulge, if you want to type in Big South Fork National River.
Speaking of, well, that's loading, Max, Tennessee is one of those states I didn't really realize. I got to visit it a couple years ago. It is like, they get great weather. Like from
Yeah.
February
Hmm.
to November, it's like at least, 60 degrees. And it's-
Yeah, it gets pretty shitty in there, but they have a very short amount of time when it's like shitty in there from like January to March. And then that's pretty much they have a summertime and then they have their rain season, and their rain season's like cold and rainy. But anyway, covering a massive 125,000 acres of Cumberland Plateau, the Big South Fork National River is one of the most beautiful places to visit in all of Tennessee. Huge array of scenic gorges and sandstone bluffs to explore in the park, dating back for over 10,000 years, with 5 camping grounds. So place to go camping, place to go hike, place to go visit, absolutely gorgeous wildlife, gorgeous places to go and to rock climb and to hike and all that good stuff. So very, very cool. And then the last place I'll just do Lover's Leap. If you wanted to type in Lover's Leap. Lover's Leap is Tennessee is home to some of the beautiful national sites. Perhaps the best is found at Lover's Leap, which you can find a spot in 7 different states. You can see 7 different states from this spot. And-
Really?
Yep.
Doesn't look like it. Looks like
Spot where you can see, which is a spot where you can see 7 different states. The rare white fallow deer can be also seen within this Rock City attraction. But for the best views of the land surrounding the lookout and mountain visitors, to be brave enough to do the swing along bridge. It's a bridge where you can walk across mountains. But from Lover's Leap, on a clear day, you'll be able to see Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, and the Smoky Mountains of North Carolina.
that's three.
If a squint, you might just be able to make out Kentucky and Virginia.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I got for Tennessee. So thanks, Bulge.
Yeah, you got it.
I think you're up next too.
Yeah. I'll run right into Michigan here. So the first place I want to call attention to, we all know, we all love it. Beautiful Mackinac Island.
Never been there. You been there?
Nope.
We all love it.
we all love it. No, I have not. And to be honest, I'd love to, because it seems like it's literally like a remote island where people just still live. And
Yeah, like no
Mackinac,
cars,
it's
right?
just to be like strolling through this town right on the water.
They have
Really
chocolate
nice there.
fudge. I heard fudge they make there.
Oh, are they a big fudge town?
Fudge
Are
town.
they fudge packers? All right, so we got Mackinac Island. Then now here's a place a little bit more close to my heart. We know it, the Upper Peninsula, and I want to talk about specifically Porcupine Mountains.
Ooh.
Peninsula. Look at these guys right here.
They're great for skiing too.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, they're not like super tall, but they overlook. I think this is called the Lake of the Clouds. Yeah, there you go. So they have a couple like a really nice scenic views like that, and there's probably like 10-15 miles of hiking trails. So it's not like massive, but it's really beautiful for the area. And fun fact, it's called Porcupine Mountains because the natives used to think that the cliffside looked like a porcupine that was hunched over.
Cool.
They called it Porcupine Mountains because they thought it looked like a porcupine.
Yeah, right. Shocking, huh?
All right. No,
All right.
This is Michael making himself laugh.
have you
so
have you ever heard of Bulge? I don't mean to steal Michigan, but I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the Silver Lake State Park sand dunes.
Silver Lake State Park.
Yeah, huge sand dunes there.
Cover the Sleeping Bear sand dunes first, though, Bulge.
Oh yeah, do that.
Yeah, Zach, it may be related because the Sleeping Bear sand dunes make up like a super long, like 8-mile
Whoa.
lakeshore, like sand dune spots. So like there's a ton of these right along the lake. It's like I said, like 8 miles of just absolutely massive dunes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, isn't that kind of crazy?
Wow.
Yes, that's good. So what was the one you said? Silver
Silver Lake State Park, I think it's called.
Lake Sand Dunes.
So those are kind of taller.
Oh wow, yeah, look at these
Buggy
guys.
years that are really popular. Dune buggy there before.
You've dune buggied there? Was that
Yeah.
fun?
You know, there's been stories about, so there'll be like, it looks like just little puddles kind of around this sand dunes because you can see there's some like marsh or reeds or whatever kind of plants around there, and it will look like a puddle, but in reality there's sometimes it'll be like an 8-foot deep like puddle. So there's
Oh
been
my god, like a mini pond.
and their fucking buggy or their like souped up pickup truck, and it'll go straight down into it and they'll ruin it. It'll sink.
Holy shit. So that's crazy. There's a couple other absolutely beautiful city in Michigan that I want to call attention to. Detroit, baby. Detroit. Love it. No, but actually Michigan, I'll tell you what, has some good college towns. Lansing and Ann Arbor are both some solid college towns. So great state, Michigan. It's a little bit slept on in my opinion.
It is. I agree.
Hey, Paul, do you remember, I don't know, I think it was Scary Movie 4 possibly, where they have like the big aliens with like metal claws. I think it's supposed to reenact the movie with Tom Cruise, War of Worlds, I want to say.
Yeah.
There's like this little clip. Here's Detroit before the attack. There's like gunshots and sirens and fires and everything going on. And here's Detroit after the attack. It's like the same video an alien added.
Mike, keep it moving. North Carolina.
Okay, North Carolina folks coming in hot at this for I think 16. So I love North Carolina. I've actually been there a few times and had the pleasure of it. The only little eyesore that I will have to give North Carolina is Asheville. I know we've talked about that as some of the worst cities or places that we've been in.
We're selling North Carolina right now, Mike. We're selling it.
I gotta. That's the reason why it's not number one, right? So there's a couple.
That's kind of nice. I don't know.
It's just kind of a hick town, but North Carolina, nicknamed the Tar Heel State. Something that's pretty sick, I think, in North Carolina is you have the Blue Ridge Mountains, which Asheville is kind of nestled in. There's some beautiful hiking trails. Bulge, if you want to just look up a picture of Looking Glass Rock, that's one of like the beautiful lookout points that's within the Blue Ridge Mountains. So
What did you say it was?
Looking Glass Rock.
I was smoking.
Looking Glass Rock.
Oh wow, look at that.
So it's
What
beautiful.
the hell?
And it's just some great scenes, beautiful waterfalls, beautiful rivers as well.
Wow.
How
The
was
other
that formed?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if it's a glacier deposit or what, in all honesty.
It's gotta be, right?
Uh,
Well, I don't think glaciers got that far south. That's crazy. Wow.
Well, Bulge, can you look up the Blue Ridge Mountains too?
So obviously during the fall, it's beautiful hiking weather to see the leaves changing and whatnot. The one thing that you got to be careful of if you're trying to get a vantage point when you're hiking in the Smokies or in the Blue Ridge Mountains, it's the least crowded earlier in the morning when you're trying to hike to a summit to get to a vantage point or a lookout point, but it's probably going to be foggy and cloudy. You really got to wait sometimes until the afternoon for the sun to break through so you can see some of these breathtaking views, because sometimes you might just see clouds. So the other part of North Carolina that's really cool is the Outer Banks.
Yeah, Outer Banks.
Love the Outer Banks. They also have a pretty awesome sand dune called Jockey's Ridge Sand Dunes, and we can't forget that it's also home to Kitty Hawk, where the Wright brothers were first to take flight. So that's pretty freaking cool. In the Outer Banks, I remember going there in high school, and I think I like went to a Subway, and I thought I could like fit in with the locals, so I tried ordering in like a North Carolinian accent, and I don't think I did a good job. Like, I'll take a foot long sub, please.
You please
Is-
tell me
is-
you
is-
didn't actually do that.
I did. I was like
Is,
16.
is a North Carolina accent just like slightly southern, but like more East Coast
Yeah, you
southern?
got like the East Coast, but then you start getting into a little bit of a twang.
Hmm.
But East Southern, how do you get around here?
It'll come out like molasses.
The last thing to wrap it up, North Carolina grows more sweet potatoes than any other state.
All right, very cool. All right, so now we are pivoting to New Mexico.
15.
Bulge, if you just wanted to type in good old Ghost Ranch to get us kicked off, also known as O'Keefe Country, after famed artist Georgia O'Keeffe, who was a longtime resident here. Ghost Ranch is a gorgeous, brilliant red and yellow cliffs, towering rock walls, and vast skies. So a lot of these names are going to be very, very tough to pronounce, but New Mexico has a lot in common with Arizona in a sense of it's kind of that like desert country type of feel to it. So you get a lot of these red rock views, you get a lot of these red mountain-esque type. You get a lot of different types of haboobs, dust storm,
Yeah.
and all those stuff in North Carolina. But as you can see, absolutely beautiful rock sculptures. There is a lot of beauty to see in North Carolina, and definitely would recommend going the Bisti de Nazin Wilderness in San
Can I-
Juan
can I-
County.
Can I say a fun fact real quick, Max, about this ghost ranch you just showed me here?
Yeah.
This is where, if anybody is a fan of the show Breaking Bad, this
Oh!
this is like the area that they filmed like the cook scenes early on in the show when they went out in the RV. This is the exact one.
That's sick.
Wow. That's crazy, actually. Bulger, look up the BISTI Badlands.
Sea Badlands. Sounds like, ooh, look at that.
Yeah, so they have like just acres of just random looking crazy eroded
Oh.
rock sculptures.
Bro, this doesn't look like it's on Earth, man.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. It's something, it's a sight to behold. Home in the beautiful New Mexico. So, and then the last thing that I wanted to you to look up is the Blue Hole.
Oh, I think I know this one.
Yeah, I think I know it too.
80-foot deep natural bell-shaped pool.
Whoa.
It has a constant temperature of 61 degrees, and that never changes or falls. It attracts scuba divers from across the world. It's insane. So that's the last thing that I wanted to show, but it's 80 feet deep. It's really, really,
That is nuts, though.
That's a deep hole.
but all year round, it stays 61 degrees. So that's what I got.
Not chilly.
Mexico.
Nice. Well done. I believe, are we moving on to Florida?
Yeah.
The great state of Florida. Personally, not a big fan of Florida ultimately, but
Same.
I was chosen to go with this one. So first and foremost, we'll start with the Everglades, of course. Everglades National Park is fantastic, gorgeous greenery. My parents actually went down here and they went on one of these, what are these called? Like turbine boats or like fan boats or something. They said it was a ton of fun, and they can take you through like all these different channels in the Everglades and stuff. And they got to hold alligators, like these little baby ones, not ones this big, but just like an absolutely beautiful, and plenty of wildlife. That's the biggest thing. This is a huge wildlife reserve. So the Florida Reef, which I believe is by the Florida Keys.
Whoa.
The Everglades
This
is
is-
actually really cool, by the way.
Yeah, is it?
I love it.
Have you been?
Yeah, multiple times. It's really cool.
Yeah. This is right off the coast of Florida. reef lush community of fish and different sea critters. Beautiful there. Then we have, it's called the Quan Ecological and Historical Preserve, which is another similar wetlands to the Everglades, but it's on a smaller scale and it's kind of historic. It was, my understanding is there's some history there with some of the 17th or 18th century wars.
Whoa.
Obviously,
A
Fort
lot of
Caroline.
wetlands, a lot of wetlands in Florida, obviously.
Yeah, a ton of them. Yeah.
I think another, I mean, don't mean to steal your thunder about Florida either too, but a lot of the reason why people come to visit Florida too is for like the scenery in Miami and Miami Beach and all that crazy stuff, and South Beach, Miami Beach. Their beaches are actually worth something. They're really pretty. And Fort Lauderdale is a really cool area too, but yeah, no, Miami beaches are really, really cool too.
Yeah, Florida, honestly, you know, I've been to obviously I went to Orlando, which was nice, but I actually spent a lot of time like Pensacola and like the Floribama area right in between Florida and Alabama. I like it down there.
They got really good golf in like Naples too.
Yeah, yeah. My uncle has a house in Naples actually. That's where my parents were when they went down there, in Naples.
Oh, very cool.
Mhm.
All right, Mike, I think you're up next. You're on deck.
Yeah, we got number 13, Idaho. I love Idaho. I've never been there. But their nickname is the Gem State. I didn't know they produce 72 different types of gems. So that's kind of a cool fun fact. But I think if we want to pull up a picture, Mount Bora is the tallest mountain in Idaho. The kind of way to describe the general landscape of Idaho is separate kind of categories. You have the Rocky Mountains, you have the Columbia Plateau, and you have the Basin and Range Province. So those are kind of the three geographical zones of the state. It is the state with the most miles of rivers, coming in at over 3,100 miles of rivers going on. So great fishing and whatnot. And did you know that they make a third of the US's potatoes?
I think I did know that. Yeah.
Also, well, you'll appreciate this one. I took note on it. They are known as the lentil capital of the world.
Let's go. Love lentils, man.
So, and it's pretty cool because Idaho includes the two national parks of Grand Tetons and Yellowstone National Park.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to look up Hell's Canyon, it is a, oh yeah, those are some great.
I was just in the Tetons.
Oh, no kidding. Were you camping there?
I went to Tetons, Yellowstone, and Glacier for like 12 days with Haley, just hiking,
shit, that's awesome.
eating crazy shit. It was so fun. Wow.
So
Hell's Canyon.
Hell's Canyon is actually deeper than the Grand Canyon. Little known fun fact.
What?
And then there's also some good skiing in Idaho. I know one of the great places is Silver Mount Resort. I've never been there, but so I've heard it's supposed to be pretty cool and one of the first ski resorts ever in America. So
Cool. Very, very cool.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Mike. You represented Idaho very well. All right. So moving on to Oregon. Big Bad Bulge, if you wanted to type in Crater Lake. First of all, one of the biggest things that I wanted to talk about Oregon is locals hate it when people call Oregon. It is Oregon, pronounced with just the straight N. So Oregon, not Oregon. But yeah, Oregon Crater Lake, distinguishing feature of Crater Lake National Park, South Central Oregon. It's crystal clear and it's unmistakably blue. For over 7,000 years ago, when an eruption triggered the collapse of Mount Mazama. So it's a magical geographic phenomenon that created Crater Lake. So here it stands. And then the second thing I want you to look up, Bulge, is Lost Lake. So by now you gather that Oregon is basically an embarrassment of riches in the lake department. Lost Lake and Mount Hood National Forest shimmers against the backdrop of the blue sky with Preacher's Peak in the distance. Preacher's Peak is one of the Preacher's Peak right there. So we don't even have to look at it. Kill two birds with one stone. Awesome spot for trout and salmon fishing as well. So just an absolutely breathtaking spot. But this is a lot of what you see in Oregon, just a lot of rich lakes and beauty and mountains and all that good stuff too. So yeah.
I tell you what, I've really been itching to go out to the Pacific Northwest, man. There's just so much to see and so much to do that I'd love to get out there. Washington too. Have you guys gotten to Washington? Was that on your list, or was that early, or is that coming up?
Top 10, baby.
Washington's top 10.
Okay, yeah. All right. Cool.
All right.
Matt, is that 11?
Matt, you're up. You have oh wait, no, Michael, you got Vermont, and then we're done.
Yeah. All right. The
We're
beautiful.
this morning or afternoon or evening, whenever you're listening to this podcast, with the great state of Vermont, number 11. Did you guys know that Vermont is French for Green Mountain? So that is why their nickname is the Green Mountain State.
Vermont.
Yeah, really good. I'm pretty sure that's what so Vermont is a state that's primarily forested, and there are many waterfalls there as well. Some say that Vermont has the greatest skiing on the East Coast of the U.S. Some of the awesome skiing resorts out there are Killington Resort, Stowe Mountain, Okemo Mountain, and Jay Peak. And we can't forget this beautiful clip from I believe it was The Hangover, I think. Gotta pull up the audio. Here we go.
So upset when my grandpa died. Oh, so how'd he die? World War II, died of battle. No, he was skiing in Vermont.
Anyways, Vermont is beautiful in the fall to see the fall foliage, and it's really cool just to kind of see the small towns that are in the valleys. They obviously are the largest producer of maple syrup.
No kidding.
And one of the geographical features, I would say, is Camel's Hump hike. So pretty much we can just leave you with a picture of Camel's Hump hike. It is pretty much a little rock formation on top of a hill, and there's some beautiful lookouts.
Wow.
Oh, look at that, man.
That's so cool.
That pretty much sums up.
Dude,
it's beautiful.
I had no idea that Vermont had this much going on, man. I thought Vermont was kind of a wasteland.
Well, that wraps up our states, Max. I don't know if you got anything else.
No, my computer is at like 2%, and we gotta wrap this sucker up. But
We got to wrap this up.
Matt, thanks for joining.
Hey, it was a pleasure. I appreciate you guys having me on, and I look forward to being back someday.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, as always, it was a great episode. And Bolts, do you want to take us away with Pot Out, or because you are filling in for Ty?
Yeah. All right, team. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you next time. Pot out.
Pot Out.